Today, let's introduce our DDL primary current test set, also known as temperature rise testing system. It applies a high current to the tested object to increase its temperature, and use a radiation rod to calculate the K value of temperature changes to determine whether the tested product is qualified. First, connect the power and ground. The power required for this device is a two-phase 380 volts line with 0 position. Just connect 2 phases, then connect N to 0, and ensure good grounding. It can output both AC and DC at the same time. After selecting AC and DC on the device side, on this side, it is also necessary to separately modify the wiring method between the wire and the tested object. After unscrewing this screw, just connect 2 cables to it. If it is a relatively thick cable, it may bring down the back panel, so we need to use an insulated pole to support it. This is a temperature measuring rod. The other end of its wire is connected to the socket. Its 3 wires are a temperature measuring rod. Then the order from left to right is 1, 2, 3, and 4, respectively. Take this port in the correct order from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connect them one by one from the innermost to the right. Then put the thermometer on the other end of it. Put it in the corresponding position and it's done. After the serial port fails, it needs to be changed to a spare serial port. There are 2 serial ports here. One is serial port 3, one is serial port 4, according to the arrangement of the serial port. As long as its serial port prompts a failure, you can replace it with a serial port and change it to the corresponding serial port on the computer. After the system is turned on, open the software shortcut first. If it prompts that the serial port is occupied, that is because there is a serial port interface on the side of the device. It cannot conflict with other serial ports. If the serial port is occupied, like this one, it also prompts that the serial port connection failed. Under normal circumstances, these 3 things show that the connection is successful. There are many serial ports on the side. If the temperature inspection serial port conflicts with other serial ports, select an empty serial port for it. Then connect the line to the corresponding serial port next to it. After connecting, click Confirm. The software is opened. This limit is red at this time. After it is selected, all devices are connected. After the test is completed, you can continue to click Boost. Before this, there is no response to clicking Boost. First, enter the information for creating a new device. The test number and equipment type can be set by oneself. What needs to be filled in are high voltage side voltage, opening distance, high voltage side current, and stroke. These 4 are filled in based on the nameplate of the test sample. The following 3 items, and these 2 items. It is filled in according to the national standard of the tested product. There are also some preset device names here. You can also choose to make changes. For example, this 12001, it is a high voltage switchgear. It has been preset in advance. All the information is already inside, just click Confirm. After clicking Confirm, enter this interface. It is achieved by applying high current to the switch. Then it causes the switch to heat up, detect its heating environment. It should be noted that the K value of this temperature rise, all the temperatures on it, calculate through the formula here. The temperature rise K value will be displayed. The value of K should be less than 1, then hold for 3 hours. This proves that the switch is qualified and problem-free. The side of the machine will be equipped with several temperature measuring rods. There are a total of 16 groups. You can also increase according to your needs. Firstly, start with 1 to 4 from left to right. This environmental temperature measuring rod needs to be placed in the oil of the transformer. The oil in the transformer can be integrated with the temperature of the air to achieve more accurate measurement. Without It can also be placed around the switch. However, the error will be relatively large. Place these 1 to 4 around the switch of the tested object at a distance of 1 meter. These temperature measuring sticks behind. Following this front door side panel. A port ABC 3-phase. After all these temperature measuring rods have been arranged, you can start checking these data. It can switch between different types of experiments. This device supports bidirectional switching between AC and DC. The wiring method behind switching between AC and DC also needs to be changed. After everything is set up, you can click to close and start the experiment. After turning on the switch, this limit switch will turn green. Then you can start boosting. Boosting can be selected automatically or manually. Clicking on automatic will directly increase the target current. If you click manual, it will gradually increase until the target current is reached. After reaching the target current, it has already started testing the switch. We need to wait for an hour at this time. Only then will there be a change in the value of K. After an hour, its temperature had already stabilized. Wait for another 3 hours to determine this temperature. Changes in temperature difference under high current output. Display a value of K. After the measurement of K value is completed, you can click on the disconnect button. Release the switch and then reduce the voltage. You can click here to view temperature data. The temperature data will be displayed here. This is the emergency stop button. In general, it is not possible to stop this instrument directly with an emergency stop, because it may cause slight damage to the instrument. It's like forcibly shutting down a computer. If it's not a particularly urgent situation, usually, it is directly clicked to open the switch.